Hello guys, welcome to day 3 of our React Django series. In our last video, we have seen views, URLs and settings and how you can create templates, how you can use them, the reusability of components and everything we have seen, right? And now in this video, we'll be talking about everything you need to know with connecting to database. Yeah, let's get this party started. In our Django project, we have an environment created, and this is our Python project, right? And we have app, which is our app, and this is our main project. Head back to your terminal, and we need to activate the environment, right? So dot slash env slash scripts slash activate to activate the environment. And yeah, we are in. Now we need to move our directory cd to my project, and if you list you will have manage.py, which is helpful to run your Django server, and we'll run that later. And to interact with Django database, you need to create tables, right? And in tables, inside the tables you will have some attributes, and you need to define them inside your database. And for this we use models.py, which is discussed previously in our first video itself. If you haven't watched it, I suggest you to watch it. And yeah, let's make an order. First, we need to make some configurations in our settings.py. Then we use models.py, and we use admin.py file. We have views followed by URLs, and in this session we are going to take the data from the form and submit to the database. So we have a form, right, previously component, which is form component.html. And yeah, let's get this started. And before doing this, we need to install one thing, which is REST framework. You need to have REST framework installed. It is very easy to install REST framework actually. Head along with me. Say pip install yeah, you need to say it's Django REST framework, like I have already installed, so it came likewise, or else it will download for you. Once your download is done, close your terminal. We have many things to do, from starting from our settings.py file. So in our settings.py, go to the apps, install apps, and say REST framework, REST underscore framework. Make sure you have comma right here, and better place comma right here, and Control S to save. Come to the databases part. In this database part, it will be the best place to add this. You need to add a simple thing, and this is meant for allowing permissions if REST framework requires any while submitting form or else interacting with REST framework. So yeah, REST framework is equals to, inside this we need to add a default permission classes, which is within the single quotes, make it caps lock, default permission classes, and after the single quotes colon, and we may take some array of things, and here we include REST framework. Sorry, it should be capital, it should be small. So REST framework dot we need to allow permissions if it requires any, right? So allow permissions, sorry, we need to dot permissions dot allow any. In this allow any, a should be caps, okay, which is, it's predefined, we cannot write as our wish na. Control S to save this. Now we added this REST framework, and we added REST framework into the install apps, right? That's it. That's what we do in settings.py. And in models.py, we need to create a model, right? Which means that you are going to create a complete table inside your database, okay? So if you create a table, you will also create attributes inside this, right? So let's start. So in our case, let me tell you one thing. In our form component, we have changed from name to email. Like we have name and email, right? Previously we have removed name and we added password. So we just want to make it a simple login, just like so. Email and password is the form, okay, and the submit button, and the action is nothing, it is not defined. The method is post, which is like you actually use post method to post the form. And in the models.py, like what we are planning is we are going to create a unique UID for every user who makes a login. So import UUID, which is unique user ID, and we are going with class based. So class followed by the class name, say registration, and registration takes the parameters as, so models dot model. Yeah, from models, this models, we are using model from the models class, models module, okay. And in this model module, you will have several things. You will have email fields, character fields, text fields, and unique user ID field, and etc. You need to explore them. But in this case, we will see unique user ID field, email field, and the character field. If you want to explore more, I'll give you the link in the description of the official website. You can see, go check it out. ID, let's create an ID. ID is equals to, from models dot we use UUID field, unique user ID field, where this is the primary key. Primary key is true, comma, and default will create a unique user ID. So default UUID, which is unique user ID dot UU unique user ID 4, which is 4-digit unique user ID is created, and later we make it not to be editable, right? Editable equals to false, which means that we create a unique user ID using this UUID module, and we are not going to edit it anyhow. If someone tries to edit also, it won't accept, since it is not editable. So that every user will have their unique ID. And email is equals to, models dot email field, email field will have some max length, which is say 100, and it is not nullable, which is null equals to false. And is that blank? No, it is not blank. Blank is equals to false. Yeah, let's create a password. Password equals to, similarly nothing changes, I think so. Take it, copy, paste it here, but instead of email field we use password field. So there is no password field maybe. It is text field. Sorry, text field, and Control S to save. And when we create a registration table, this is a table actually in your database, we need to automate it, right? We need to call it. So double underscore str, we pass it self argument, and we return based on the self dot id. Of course we use self dot id, right? But this self dot id is actually uh, alphanumerical characters. So to handle these alphanumerical characters, we consider it as a string. So str of this self dot id, now whatever the alphanumerical it is, it will consider it as a string of characters, and Control S to save. That's what we do in models.py. If you have any others in your case, go deal with but simply it is a registration form. That's enough. Now we need to register our model what we have created. So for this it's very simple, it's just a line of code. So we need to add, like we have previously created registration, right? We need to import it and then register it. Let me tell you. So admin site register. So register, we need to register the class we have created, the model, in admin site register. So register in admin site, that's it. And what do we want to register? This is registration, right? But where does this registration came from? This registration comes from, if it comes likewise, remove my project. Because you don't have to explicitly say my project dot app. Like within your my project, it's like within your project, your app comes now. So you don't have to explicitly mention it, and that's it. Simple. Admin site register. We need to register within admin site. And what do you want to register? Registration. Control S to save. Now we need to create a view for that, and then we can bind it to a URL, right? So let me create a view. But one thing, to create views, we need to import some modules. But we'll see. Let me create a class. Till now we used function based, right? Now we are going to use class based, class registration. No, like in next case to handle this, so we create a registration view class. And so to do this, we need three modules to be imported. Let us import the three required modules. So from REST framework we have installed, right? So REST framework, we need to import view sets. And from app, we have models, right? And from app.models, we need to import the registration. And then from the serializer file which we have made. Oh, we haven't made a serializer. Okay, I think I forgot one thing. Sorry guys, I forgot one thing. So yeah, within your app, along with apps, models, views, tests, you need to have one thing which is serializer.py file. I'll tell you why do we need this. Let's create a file which is new file, serializer.py. So but what do you mean by a serializer? See, serializers are used to convert the complex data types such as Django model instances which we have created. These are the Django model instances, right? So to convert these complex data types into Python native data types so that they can be rendered easily in JSON, XML, or whatever that content types could be. And using serializers.py file, I mean serializers, like it's a module actually. So using serializers, we can also make deserialization, which means in a sense, like we taken complex data types and converted into simple Python data types, right? We can do it in inverse form also. We can take Python data types and we can convert into complex data types also. But for that, we need to, you know, validate the incoming data. That's it. So yeah, let's make serializations for the data we have, like for the models.py we have created. And here comes this. After admin, we need to make a serialization. Maybe I forgot. So from REST framework, we need to import serializers. So later we have made a registration, right, previously from models. So from app.models import, sorry, registration, import registration. Later, we are going to create a class-based component, class registration serializer, which is serializers. From serializers, we import model serializer for this task, and later we create a meta class. Inside this meta class, we need to have model and the number of fields, whatever that could be, we have in models.py. So model is, what is the model we have? Model is equals to registration, right? And whatever the fields we have to serialize everything. It is all will tell you to serialize everything. Okay. And later come to views.py, like we have forgotten the serializer, no? So from serializer, sorry, but this serializer came from app, right? So app.serializer, we need to import that registration serializer, registration serializer, registration serializer. Yeah, we are creating a registration view, right? So in this we have view sets dot model serializer, sorry, model view set. Inside this we have query set be a variable in where it holds whatever the objects inside the registration. So registration dot objects dot all, so hold all the objects, registration dot objects dot all, like all is a function. So then we also uh, hold the serializer, I mean registration serializer, in a serializer class variable. uh, so serializer class is equals to the registration serializer, which is this one. So registration serializer is now inside serializer class variable. So control S to save. Yeah, in our views.py file, we need to import the routers. So to make routing, we go with API and then later. So let's import routers. So it comes from REST framework. So from REST framework, import routers. We use these routers and call the default router and store it in a route variable, which helps in routing. So route is equals to routers dot default router of. which is a call function, and we use route. So now we make a registration for the route we have made. So route dot registration of, and which takes, so make it a raw string so that even something goes wrong, it doesn't matter. I mean, sorry, it's a route the registration. We are going to register the registration which we have created the model, right? So registration. Then we also need to register the view that we have created, which is registration view. Yeah, registration view. And inside our URLs, we need to add a path. We means that we need to bind a path for this, right? So path, and within single quotes say API, because we use this as mediator, na. So include. So what are you going to include? Route dot URLs, which will tell you uh, this route and the URL that is connected to. So route dot URLs. Yeah, this is not underscore route. This is route dot URLs. Include, just import it. That's it. See, it was included right here. Yeah, save it. That's it. This is the way you need to follow while creating something like the table in your database or Django. If you change anything in this process, you may face troubles. So let's check for the migrations. So Python space manage.py, we need to make migrations first to see number of migrations we have. Make migrations, which will tell you. So where does it came from? This is not the registration. This is register. This is the variable. This is function, right? So S, control S to save, and just run it again. Python space manage.py make migrations. Yeah, it is saying that we are going to create a model called registration, which is a table in your database. And inside this registration, now we need to apply the migrations. To apply migrations, we just need to make migrate. We just type migrate, Python space manage.py migrate to apply the migrations. Yeah, applying migrations, initial. Okay. So okay, now we have made migrations. So just run our project now. Run server. Slash admin. Go to your admin page. Like you can see, registrations is now created. Actually, we don't have this registration. We have groups and users, right? If you have seen our previous videos, you will be very clear. You don't have registrations till now. It was just created right now. And inside registrations, there is nothing because we haven't given any input, right? So you can do this in two ways. You can just go to the API we have given. So go to API. This is what your Django REST framework is, and you have registration right here, right? Uh, see, see this URL. This API path is what we are seeing right now in this API. You can go to registration. Click on this. You will go to registration, but missing meta attribute registration serializer. So something is wrong. Go to serializer and sorry, it is meta. It's a spelling mistake. It told I can't find meta completely, and just reload the server. Now load it API. Okay, click on this. Okay, just a small thing. So you have email and password right here, right? You can use this to, you know, fill that Django, whatever the table we have created. Programming stuff at the rate gmail.com and password for programming, and hit post. Yeah, you will see you have an ID created, and this is your email and this is your password. But we cannot do this using from here, right? So we need an UI so that you can use that UI and make a post request and fill your Django database. Now let's check if this one is in your database or not. Say admin panel, go to your admin, and inside your registrations, yeah, you can see one registration which is programming stuff at the gmail.com and password for the password. And let's do it from a form. So yeah, we have this form, right? Email and password. So let's do this from email and password, like from this form component. So what I'll do is remove this hash, and this is already the post method, like method is post, and in the action we say API slash the registration class we have now. So registration and control S to save. So what happens is see slash API slash registration, spelling mistakes away. So registration. So whatever the email and password comes from the UI, it gives to these two fields, and it will say post method, like we have clicked on submit button, right? And that's it. It will paste this in your Django database, and your registration will be successful. That's how it works. And let's see. Good. If I say email, check, click on submit. Yeah, you will see. Oh, okay, CSRF token missing. And one thing you need to do is, while submitting forms, you need to include a CSRF token. And CSRF tokens are actually used in Django to protect your site from unauthorized accesses. So to reduce this attacks while you are submitting your forms, we use, CSRF tokens, which is percentage and within space CSRF underscore token. It should be with spaces after and before, and control S to save, and just refresh and resubmit the form. Why is this still missing the CSRF token? Okay, let's refill the form. So what do we use? Check at the rate gmail.com, and the password is checking. Click on submit. Yeah, you will see a ID is created, unique ID for our email and the password we have given. And if you say get, you can see all the user IDs which were created right now, and no two IDs will be similar anyhow. And yeah, if you say options, you will see how each one is registered, right? For email we can see the structure, and for password we can see the structure. It's just like a database structure, right? And this is in JSON. Yeah, yeah, that's it guys, that's it for today's video, and hope you guys like this. If you like the content, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.